Less than 1% of the convictions of those deported were for homicide. Only 1.2% were for sexual assault. So doesn't that speak, though, to what Senator Kelly was saying, which is it's not the criminals, it's the grandmas?
Well, he's just telling the grandma story. He's not talking about, how DHS rounded up pedophiles and some other violent actors in Los Angeles and throughout the country. So you have to tell all sides to it. But you hit it right on the head earlier when you said immigration is a very emotional conversation, and it's where we have to get it right. You have to separate those that may be in a different situation than the worst of the worst. What I am encouraged to see is I am encouraged that after we have passed the one big beautiful bill and have given DHS $45 billion, that they are now creating these task forces and going after very strategic operations that take out the pedophiles, the murderers. Numbers matter, but more specifically, who is being detained. Traffic violations don't excite me as much, and I don't think keep communities as safe as taking out, murderers and convicted criminals that are a danger to all communities.
Do I hear you saying that this new money will now allow them to actually focus on violent offenders instead of just anyone they encounter who did at one point enter illegally?
Yes, and this is what I'm seeing, is I'm seeing a mix of these self-deportations. Secretary Noem has been very active. She's essentially has traveled Central and South America talking to a lot of heads of state, and a lot of folks are self-deporting back to these countries to the tune of hundreds of thousands. I think what that does is that alleviates some of the stress on DHS, essentially to put numbers on the board and instead create these task forces to go after these bad actors. To me, that's the secret sauce. You create these task forces and get after the worst of the worst.
Okay. We do see, though, in the courts that the Trump administration is trying to do away with limits on child detention. One of ICE's only family detention facilities is in your district in Texas. And you did vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill. And it includes a provision that allows families with children to be held indefinitely, which contradicts that long-standing precedent of putting a 20-day limit on detaining children. Do you think that needs to be changed in future legislation? Should there be limits on detaining kids?
Possibly. I mean, the legislative piece is a much more long road. What I've seen under both the Biden administration and the Trump administration is that it's a delicate balance, right? How do you keep families together? How do you make sure that there is coordination to what country they're going to? But what we don't want to see is somebody indefinitely held without having due process. But what we do want to see is after that due process is completed, that they're immediately removed in a humane environment. And, I visited these facilities under both administrations, and I've never had a problem with ICE facilities. They've always allowed me to view everything I wanted. I've taken pictures, I've done videos, I've spoken to people that were there, and I think that's the important part. Our government needs to be transparent to what's happening.
And we would love to take our cameras into some of those facilities if you could help us do that, sir, because we don't have that access. And I know a number of those immigration advocates have said that. They are frustrated they don't have more access now to share with the public what they're hearing.